Fortunate. He's playing the 5, not the 6.
We are kicking off our last Swiss round here in Toronto of our day 2, starting off here on Jackson's side of the field. That beautiful Charmander in the active position here, just running through the grass, accidentally burning a couple of blades there, as you see, Kyle. No care in the world, no thought in that head here. But Buddy Poffin is going to bring out even more Pokemon here for Jackson. We need to see a pretty prominent setup here for Jackson because he's going to be going against Cali, who also has a pretty fast-paced setup. Unfortunately, starting with the Radiant Charizard in the active, though.
Yeah, not only that, but also seeing Jackson go first with the Buddy Poffin. That's a nightmare on the other side for a Regidrago player as you're trying to establish that early knockout. If you can get that Kyurem in play, use Trifrost, clear out all these basics before they evolve, you have a non-game on your hands. It typically takes a Thornton and a bunch of other crazy combos to get the ball rolling again. Jackson's not going to have to worry about that with an easy path to evolving on turn 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle, that shirt's or that sweater's a bit familiar.
Yeah, where are these banana guys coming from?
They're Canadians, I can tell you that much. This is actually a double Canada matchup here. Both Jackson Ford and Cali White are from hailing from Canada and definitely representing here on our stage. So that's pretty cool to see. Well, we see that Charmander come out as well as that Duskull for Jackson. So we'll have to see how the rest of the hand plays out here, but Buddy Poffin is always what you want to be starting with. Because
yeah, Boo, you think
we're
maybe there's a Pidgey in that hand?
Yeah, I think so.
I would almost guarantee it at this point.
And it's probably the nice one, too.
Callie's like looking over like, okay, maybe there's a world where this isn't the case, but surely you have to have, there it is.
Yeah.
It's never complete without the bird.
That looks like a couple more Pidgeys, actually.
Does it count like that? Can you get each of them?
I wish. Well, we'll see how Cali White is able to match this dominant Turn 1 here. Just getting all those Pokemon out, there's no energy there, but that's no issue for Charizard down the line. Cali, on the other hand, starting awkwardly with the Radiant Charizard, going to go in first off with this Ultra Ball, having to discard 2 supporters all right off the bat within that Professor's Research and Boss's Orders.
Yeah, certainly when you see the Professor's Research discarded, you expect to see a pretty great turn. Unfortunate to start that Radiant Charizard with the 3 retreat cost in the active. It's just the 1 switch, typically that Prime Catcher as well as the only ways to move this Pokemon. You never really want to use those resources like that. You can't sit there with Radiant Charizard in the active too long either, though, or your opponent just sets up, and it's hard to combat all the hit points that you'll be seeing on the other side.
I mean, we have seen over and over again, Regidrago has to maintain their resources and keep close track of all of them, too, because that's what it comes down to. Although I will say this is the one deck where you also are able to recycle your resources. So you have a little bit of a buffer there, but all of our pro players, they don't want to have a buffer. They want to have a super dominant and offensive position when they're playing that Legacy Star V-Star power. So we're going to get this Regidrago V out of the deck here for Cali to get things kicked off.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of the hand, to see how this all starts to work together. You'd like to see that Teal Mask Ogre Pawn as well. The switching right there, great news for Cali. And just that Iono, probably some good cards there if you're choosing not to discard them with Professor's Research and see that 7th card.
Yeah, I think Jackson's hand was actually pretty good from what I saw before as well. So that's going to be a reshuffle of those hands for both of our players and drawing into 6 cards each for their prize cards off that Iono. But look at this now. Cali actually has things to work with here in this turn. We're going to see that Teal Mask Ogre Pawn hit the bench as well as the double Regidrago V, and we see the energy attachment for turn, which is big here for Cali.
Yeah. Finding the fire energy is always nice, but unfortunate that there were no grass energy, even an earthen vessel, something to go along with this to accelerate that energy to the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn. You want those energies on board. Often it threatens that turn 2 Charizard. If your opponent gets too aggressive, you just want to have that 3 energy attack ready to roll for Teal Mask.
Jackson is going to start things off here as well, discarding some cards of his own to get this Pidgeot EX. It was in the hands before, was shuffled back in at the bottom of the deck from that Iono, but now it's back out once again. So that Pidgeot EX, the Pidgey has had 1 full turn to be able to rare candy into that Pidgeot EX. So Kyle, for this matchup specifically, what are going to be those key turns that we're looking for as what's going to shift momentum for this game to each player's side.
Right. Keep an eye on the prize cards. That's basically how Charizard operates. You want to have that opportunity to knock out certain Pokemon at the right times and always focus on this Teal Mask Ogerpon here. It is such a danger to any Charizard EX. That grass weakness, it sneaks up on you very quickly, and if your opponent has an answer, couldn't respond with that Pokemon, you're in a lot of trouble. Right now, we don't see that response from Cali. We typically don't see Charizard players go aggressive on the second turn. They usually like to play it a little slower, give up that first prize or two, but sometimes you see an opportunity and you pounce.
I like pouncing out opportunities, Kyle, that's for sure. But yeah, exactly, the Charmander, it's a little fire Pokemon now, but then once it becomes that Charizard EX, it's dark type. It's weak to those Teal Mask Ogerpons, and that is scary going into this match. But Jackson here, able to now use his Pidgeot EX after the rare candy to quick search for any card. What do you think that card was, Kyle?
Well, we're going with the box.
What's in it?
There's so much in the box. It's always fun to see this card, and it looks like potential for that slower play that we were talking about. The aggression typically doesn't pay off in these spots. Jackson, he was going for his item card, and he just picked the Pokemon he was going to take anyways. But with the Rotom and the Forest Sealstone there too, you have to feel very comfortable that this is going to be one of the better starts that a Charizard player can have.
Yeah, beautiful ace spec. You can only play one ace spec in your deck, and this is such an effective one that we've seen time and time again in Charizard EX now. You discard 3 cards, and then you just pick whatever you want essentially out of your deck. With an item and a stadium and a tool card. I mean, you get all of them out here. Because look, now we have the Rotom V here. It's a V Pokemon getting that Forest Seal Stone as well onto it to just give Jackson Ford even more potential to put these combo pieces together. And what's going on in the rest of the hand too, Kyle?
Okay, things are lining up. There's enough for a Charizard play here. And with the Duskull found, there's some knockouts ready to go here. You can move that. You can take that damage from the Dusclops, knock out the Regidrago if you feel like it, and that's going to be 2 very easy prizes without your opponent having the grass energy down on that Teal Mask Ogerpon. You don't feel threatened that you're going to have that return knockout on turn 2. This is a massive opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about shifting momentum here. You see it right now with Jackson Ford absolutely running away with this turn. The Dusclops is out, ready to spread some damage counters around this Charizard EX, evolving, Infernal, raining these energy onto the field here now, putting those 5 damage counters after popping off that Dusclops. He's done his time, he's done his duties, he's in the discard pile now. Cali is going to get a prize card for that within that Mew EX, but hey, now Jackson's going to take some prize cards of his own here after that huge knockout on the Regidrago V that not only was the V that could become a V-Star, but it had that fire energy attached as well.
Yeah, oh, that's the look that you're expecting when you lost your only energy, only Pokemon who is ready to get the ball rolling. And once again, it's just one of these awkward hands. No energies to work with. Yes, there is an Iono, but it has to be quite the draw to get you out of this mess.
Yeah, deciding whether or not to bench that Mew EX, going to put it down first before the Iono, shuffle up this hand and draw into hopefully some cards that'll help out a bit here. Sadly, it's going to be 1 less since that Dusclops did take a knockout there for Cali. So. Oh wait, yeah.
Thankfully, the cards weren't looked at yet, but yes, okay. there are 5 prize cards there for Cali. I mean, it feels like
easy
you haven't
overlook.
You haven't earned the prize card. It was given to you, so exactly. I can definitely understand not thinking that card should be there.
Yeah, we just had to figure out which order that last card came in because that should still be at the top of the deck here. Hopefully they can replay that back, put it back on top, and this is going to be our 5 cards off the Iono, representing each of the prize cards Cali still has.
Great spot from the judges there. And what does this hand have in store for us? It looks like the only energy in hand is a fire energy, the worst energy. No! We're out of here. We're moving into game 2.
Sheesh. All you see is fire. No help there, unfortunately, for Cali White. And Jackson Ford is feeling pretty good about this, I'm sure, after taking a swift game 1 here in our Swiss round 13.
Looking out to the Canadian crowd. Maybe
I think it's the banana sweater.
It's
They're slipping on the bananas, I'm telling you.
it's intimidating. Maybe they learned that trick that I told you about splitting the banana into 3.
Oh my gosh. How is that relevant right now? That's so funny. That came into relevancy, Kyle. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but every time we see a Canadian now in a banana sweatshirt, their opponent just seems to have not that great of a game 1. I will say, though, they seem to come back in the game 2, so we'll see if Cali White is able to do that here coming up, because
What's our sample size?
of the banana sweatshirt.
Well, yeah, this is the second match of this. I don't know if this is really science.
Don't ask me about the math, Kyle.
You have a
with those
PhD in
polls.
crab facts, but not bananas.
Would you like a crab fact?
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, did you know that crabs primarily communicate with their claws to each other?
Crab facts.
What do you think Clop's saying?
Feed me. Poison me.
Maybe. Poison. Poison me. Do damage.
He's an acolyte.
All right, well, let's get back into this game because we have the fist bump here. We're jumping back into the action here. It's the tale of the Titans between Charizard EX and Regidrago V-Star.
Much better starter this time around to see the Cleffa.
You don't like the 3 retreat Radiant Charizard star?
It's a big boy, but it's not ready yet. It's like Ash's Charizard.
That's true.
Not listening to you
It's
at
gotta
any
get
of the
tamed.
gym battles, taking a big
so
old nap.
That is very accurate. Well, we'll have to see if Regidrago is able to climb back here. Cali White is going to start us off on the left side of our field right now. We have a grass this time, but it's being put on a Regidrago V. Even more awkward almost than we saw in the first turn of the last game, and that's it. Now we're over to Jackson Ford. Oh, is that just a pass?
Whoa, hey! That's not a turn.
We were over to Jackson Ford, and now we're gone.
This game's almost over. It
actually is.
It's basically almost in hand. It's just an energy switch away at this point. We see the Ultra Ball. I believe Earthen Vessel is in the hand too. Teal Mask Ogerpon can accelerate the energy, and at that point you have the Regidrago V-Star. You just need to find one energy switch off of the Legacy Star.
Oh my gosh, and just like that, we're seeing the tides turn here between these players. I cannot believe Jackson Ford didn't have a single playable card there from that beginning hand. I mean, what is the luck of that, Kyle?
I mean, I understand that you need to take your, check out your prize cards and everything, do your due diligence, but my goodness, there's a knockout right in front of you, Cali.
Take that W,
I know
Cali.
it's like 90% locked up at this point, but I respect the fact that you want to take your time.
I mean, this is an Ultra Ball here to get several Dragon Pokemon in that Pheasantipity down, or the Earthen Vessel to discard a Dragapult that was searched off the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, Ultra Ball searching for the Dragapult instead of the Teal Mask.
Yeah.
Bonkers to me. It's right there. I understand you can find that Teal Mask Ogerpon plenty of different ways off of the research, but why risk it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't risk it, that's for sure, because luck seems to never be on my side, Kyle. So we'll have to see how it turns out.
It's Iono, excuse me. But either way, having that Teal Mask in play seems way too correct. Either way, 6 cards off of the Iono this time, not 5. And with the Legacy Star too, it's just a Teal Mask, Grass Energy, and an E-Switch away.
Oh my gosh, look how many ball cards there. So many ways to find, and the Teal Mask Ogerpon, but yeah, it's just 3 ball cards, the Zard and the Teal Mask Ogerpon, as well as a Jamming Tower. Wow.
Now there's plenty. You search out all these Pokemon. You can play down the Teal Mask Ogerpons, the Mew, whatever you want at this point. Set up a pretty solid board. And then after you use Legacy Star, it's not game over if you don't see the energy switch. You can grab the Earthen Vessel, search out the Grass Energies, draw with your Teal Mask Ogerpon, and then try to find it. So there are upwards of 10 draws to see an energy switch to close out this game here.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's a lot of draws, if I do say so myself. Regidrago seems to always have an out, that's for sure. That's it. It's just a grasping draw here, Kyle, from Cali. And placing the Jamming Tower for the stadium in play. We're back over to Jackson Ford. We're going to see another day.
Okay.
What? Wait, let's look at the hand here for Jackson. What are these cards? Not a single card was played out of hand. Look, it's just all evolutions.
Box?
It's the secret box and then just a bunch of evolutions and the Zard Radiant Charizard.
These are all the shiniest cards.
Yeah, that's a hand. That is a hand. I mean, Secret Box is going to give us a lot of discard here, discarding 3 of these cards and then drawing into some actual playable cards here for Jackson Ford.
Boo, I don't know if I would have stopped the turn. I think Legacy Star has to be the right play there.
I'm also surprised.
Jackson has this opportunity now that should not be here. A way to get a full board setup potentially with the right cards from the Secret Box. You could have the Rotom V, the Forest Seal, Buddy Buddy. You could make a pretty solid board of this. And
yeah, but Kyle, it's
safety first.
More entertainment, that's for sure. We're seeing some high stakes Pokemon here. High stakes Pokemon, and we're still going. This could be the underdog story here for Jackson Ford.
The Canadians are too nice. I don't want to win that way.
Oh, sorry.
Set up. Have a good time.
Dunk your Pokemon. Well, we'll have to see. Jackson Ford gets to live another day, as we said. And this could, once again, be the underdog story. We just had a pass with just a lone Charmander, and now we're actually climbing back into this battle here. We have the Arvin here for the supporter card, the tool card in that Forest Seal Stone, Collapse Stadium for the stadium, and then the Buddy Buddy Poffin, which is actually going to get us some Pokemon out.
Yeah, in order to counter that jamming tower as well, have access to that Forest Seal Stone. It's so beneficial to have that one search card that you're going to need at this point in time. We saw Rare Candy in the hand, so even the aggression of a Charizard might be warranted at this point. Your opponent doesn't have the energy on the Teal Mask Ogerpon again, so you can attack with this Pokemon and probably feel like you're going to stick around for an additional turn.
Yeah, I mean, I never underestimate Charizard. This deck is pretty wild. Just the capabilities that it has, the combo pieces it can piece together out of nowhere sometimes. It's really cool to watch for sure. Nest Ball being played to get out our Rotom V here. Now we're going in with the Buddy Buddy Poffin.
Yeah, you can see the debate here for Jackson. There was an opportunity to use Buddy Buddy Poffin off of the Forest Seal Stone, but then you have to play the Collapse Stadium to counter the Jamming Tower, and then you don't have the bench for the Buddy Buddy. It's like,
it's awkward.
This doesn't work very well, and now it leads you into this spot where you're so susceptible to Trifrost. You could lose all 3 of those Pokemon, the Charmander, the Pidgey, and the other Charmander at this point. And if you're left with just the Rotom V, how do you get there?
Yeah, I mean, it started awkward, and it is continuing awkward. That is for sure. Our game 1 went pretty fast. This is our game 2 that also could have ended extremely fast, but Jackson Ford's going to have to think of the long game here, how to stick in this battle. I mean, it's not over yet. Collapse Stadium's going to come down, bump that jamming tower, turn tool cards back on here on the fields, but benches are limited now to 4 each. For our Pokemon. Look at this, Radiant Charizard.
This is the most intimidating thing you can do as a Charizard player. He's like, go ahead and try Frost. If you do, I immediately knock out your Regidrago V-Star.
Yeah, that is a threat on board, if I do say so myself, Kyle.
You won't?
You won't? Yeah, I have the Defiance Band here on my Radiant Charizard. I have the single energy that is needed, and when you take some prize cards, I'm going to be swinging back into you. Scary for sure. Cali White here on the other side of the field, starting off this turn now. A huge hand that we see. We saw a bunch of those ball cards already in the hand. Now we're going to see the utilization of them. This Ultra Ball starting us off here to get a Pokemon. Where do you think this turn's going here, Kyle?
I've been wrong a lot so far, so I'm hesitant to answer, but I would expect to see some Dragon Pokemon hitting the discard pile. Cali focused on the evolution at this point. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right way to go. You have all their Ultra Ball. You could grab a great attacker and then use the Ultra Ball, discard that Pokemon, and find the Regidrago V-Star. And Trifrost is still fantastic play. Even though you walk right into the Radiant Charizard play, taking those 3 prize cards, denying your opponent that setup of the Pidgeot and the Charizard EX, it's almost still warranted here.
It's clean, it's calculated, we're getting there. We see multiple Ultra Ball, the discarding of these Dragon Pokemon, Regidrago V-Star, the star of the show. as some say, copying the attacks of the dragon Pokemon from the discard pile, so that's exactly where you want them to see. I always think as like a new viewer, it might be so weird seeing Regidrago because it's like, what's happening? Why are all the Pokemon going to the discard?
I don't know any of the attacks available right now because they're all hidden in the discard pile.
Unfortunately, yes. Well, we're going to see the boss's orders here to bring up that Radiant Charizard that was placed down on the last turn from Jackson. Regidrago V-Star, that's currently up. It's powered up as well. And we're taking some knockouts, Kyle.
Yeah, the Dragapult Phantom Dive. Take the knockout on the Radiant Charizard and clear off the Pidgey. You also put yourself in a spot where the return knockout from a Charizard EX is basically impossible. It would have to involve Thornton into Dusclops in order to get anything else rolling. Your opponent doesn't have a way to search out from their deck other than their supporter for the turn there.
Yeah, in that Arvin, of course, getting an item card and a tool card here for Jackson. But as you said, where are you to go from here? Cali White's taken 2 prize cards already now in this match, and Jackson is going to have to piece a lot together to stay steady here. We're going to see the Night Stretcher bring that Radiant Charizard back out onto the fields, and we're going to see a rare candy as well straight into this Charizard EX. That's going to allow for this Infernal Rain 3 fire energy to be placed on the field wherever you'd like. It is an incredibly powerful ability on this Charizard EX.
You will not see another Defiance band, so Radiant Charizard does not threaten the knockout
wild.
here. The second one would be insane, but instead it's just the Radiant Charizard that it's a great inclusion as that single prize attacker. You may have to use it with a boss's orders, knocking up Pokemon like a Teal Mask Ogerpon at some points, but ultimately just having that single prize exchange when your opponent's on 2 prize cards feels necessary at this state of the game. You can't give up multiple 2 prize attackers back to back.
You gotta hold on, stay steady. Yeah, Jackson's gonna look through the discard pile on Cali White's side here. Take a look at the Pokemon that have already been discarded. Gonna bring up that Teal Mask Ogerpon EX that we've been talking about. The grass Pokemon that's super scary on the board here. That counter catcher, of course, being activated because Jackson Ford is technically behind in the prize race. Cali's taken 2 prize cards already. That's a great card. I mean, Charizard EX is so used to working on the back foot, but is it going to be too many obstacles here for Jackson Ford to have to climb through? That's the question. But like I said, I never underestimate Charizard. This deck's wild.
Yep.
Look at that.
Plenty of opportunities to stay in this game. The Duskull, even though you're opening up another single prize that your opponent can take, seems pretty nice in combination with the Radiant Charizard, having an opportunity to hit that 280 damage cap without using the Charizard EX. But the main point of this turn, removing a Teal Mask Ogerpon, so beneficial. Having no energy on a green Pokemon here makes you feel much better about the rest of the game.
Yeah, that Charizard EX does not like the grass. Gonna take it off the field right away. 2 prize cards for Jackson Ford. Now we're tied up. 4 prize cards to take for both of our players to take this game home. A little under 30 minutes on the clock as well.
I mean, complete pass of the turn.
That was just a grasping draw?
Grasping draw. There's Legacy Star options. There was potential to use a Alolan Executor on this turn.
This Clef's been carrying.
Just flip to knock out a Charizard or a Rotom V, go down to 2 prize cards remaining. Instead, it's complete pass of the turn. Yes, the prize count is still slightly in your favor. You have a Charizard that only deals 240 damage. There's a Duskull in play. A Dusclops, a counter catcher, a boss's orders. That Regidrago V-Star could be completely gone. Instead, Jackson has no return answer as well. Has to knock out a Cleffa of all Pokemon. And this is somehow still going Cali's way.
Yeah, the Regidrago V-Star coming back up here. Also, the disrespect, Kyle, on the Cleffa. You said it was a pass of the turn. That was a grasping draw. Okay.
It's a non-attack attack.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a free attack as well. Well, Jackson Ford's going to go down another prize card, just taking out a 30 HP Cleffa off the field. Cali White immediately promoting this Regidrago V-Star back into the active position, and we're seeing Pokemon fly down now here onto the bench. In that Pheasantipity EX, we're going to be drawing some cards.
Yep, still looking for some ways to generate some grass energy in play. Finally, the Teal Mask Ogerpon 2 in play gives you the opportunity to start to accelerate here. And we're going to see the energy bounce over to this Teal Mask. This one still has an opportunity to draw another grass, and we haven't seen many of them. Maybe the Professor's Research is ready to go this time around.
Professor's Research, what are these cards going to go to the hand? What are they going to be? Let's see what resources we are working with. Earthen Vessel, 2 double energy switch here for Cali. And we're jumping back into the deck as well, straight away with the Earthen Vessel. Going to get these grass energy out, start placing them onto the field to draw even more cards, and even more energy too. That was double Earthen Vessel for this turn for Cali. Look how thin that deck is.
Right. It's wild. There hasn't been much in this game. A Legacy Star still not used, but plenty of resources now being seen. The energy cards are starting to fly through. Pheasantipity to draw as well. So lots of cards in the hands now. You have to expect that the Charizard will fall to a Teal Mask Ogerpon at this point in the game.
Well, we're seeing some Teal Mask here first from Cali. Going to draw into another card, into another Earthen Vessel off of that Teal Dance. You can use it to actually discard this Dragon Pokemon within the Giratina V-Star and just shuffle up. So now that's in the discard pile for the ability of the Lost Impact attack. And here's the Prime Catcher, a spec card, bringing up this Rotom V now into the active position. And the Teal Mask Ogerpon on the other side for Cali.
Yeah, which now leads you to think that the Regidrago V-Star is the attacker of choice. You can deal another 200 damage to this Pokemon and spread some damage counters, remove that Duskull from play, and go down to just 1 prize remaining.
It's getting down to the wire here, Kyle. Cali's going to take a multiple prize knockout turn in that small little Duskull, as well as the Rotom V. 3 prize cards taken. Mew EX, the only remaining prize card there for Cali. Jackson Ford is starting off this turn here, just promoting this Charizard EX. It's already charged up, but still has 3 prize cards to take down. You see any way out of this here for Jackson?
Well, wow. Putting as many hit points as you can onto the field seems pretty good. The problem is both of the Teal Mask Ogerpon have an energy ready to go. There's still this Regidrago or this one that could end up using a Legacy Star and having those energies accelerated. I don't see a way out of this one, but you have to attack through.
You attack through, hope for the best, but Regidrago V-Star has so many answers here. That's a knockout of the V-Star on that turn. We're going to see even more card draw here. We already have a lot of fantastic cards in the hand for Cali as well. Teal Mask Ogerpon jump into the forefront of the battlefield straight away here, already getting that grass energy with the Teal Dance. There's the third one. That's going to take the last prize card needed here for Cali to take this game 2 that could have actually been over in one single turn, Kyle. We just played a whole game.
Right. I was ready for it to be over 15 minutes ago, and then my brain started thinking, maybe a Alolan Executive. No, that's for basic Pokemon. Get out of there. I just went everywhere because I'm just so frazzled. But honestly, it still works. It's fine. There's time for a game 3.
Can you imagine
let's collect ourselves.
Wild that card would be if it wasn't basic Pokemon?
Well, that's why it takes 3 ridiculous energies. But also, Regidrago just does anything at this point. You expect all sorts of Pokemon to be knocked out.
That is very, very true, Kyle. Well, let's take a quick recap to how we even got here for this time around. We have this knockout from Cali early on with these 2 Pokemon, taking the first 2 prize cards. Now we're just seeing the Charizard EX respond. Jackson holding on here through the fight. I mean, we had this awkward turn where the Cleffa had to be knocked out here to just get some prize cards there for Jackson. Yep. Then the Regidrago V-Star goes down, and that Teal Mask Ogerpon was inevitable, unfortunately, for Jackson in the end.
In retrospect, the Cleffa turn is where the game turns around for Cali. It's exactly what you need to do with that spot. Draw up, hold on to your resources, force your opponent to make that first move. Jackson ended up blinking there, and Cali was able to take it home very cleanly from that point forward.
Clean play from both of our players. We are into our game 3 here in our Swiss round, our last Swiss round of the day. Starting off with a Buddy Poff. Oh no,
whoa.
What the?
Whoa, hey, for both of them.
Oh,
whoa, both
my
the
gosh. Okay.
What?
All right, so first of all, we got 3 energy switch on Cali's prize cards.
Not real.
I need the percentage on that.
It's gross.
It's pretty bad.
Gross out of 100.
And then we have not only the A spec that we've seen be used just so well by Jackson Ford in those last 2 games, but both of your V Pokemon sitting in there at the bottom of the prize cards as well.
Briar that can clean up games for
True.
you. Both the
Yeah,
Rotoms,
but that's like later on.
The Rotom and the Luminion, the 4 Seal Stones are that's going to be useless, which is often a way that you set up your Pidgeot and continue through the rest of the game. Arvin, what are you doing now, pal? You're not hoping no one.
Happening. Yeah, exactly. Just a mere 2 cards from the Arvin. Well, Jackson is still going to kick off this turn, at least with the Buddy Buddy Poffin. That's great to see here to get these Pokemon down. But, I mean, with so many energy switch down on Cali's side, this could get real awkward. I mean, the energy switch is what leads to your early game dominance so much in Regidrago. So how do you play around that, Kyle?
It's difficult. For Cali, you're telegraphing every play throughout the rest of the game until you start taking some prize cards. So there's potential, of course. Your opponent maybe gives you a knockout with that Dusclops or Dusknoir at some point and opens up a pathway to give you that first prize card. But getting to that first prize doesn't sound very fun right now.
It does not. I want to take him, though. I mean, I want him because I need him. But, yeah, how do we get there? That's the question. Cali White going to start off this first turn here. Regidrago V in the active position this time around. Ultra Ball is going to go through the deck. And, look, this is the realization of, oh, no, where are my resources?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed, Kyle. Just taking a hard look through, flash over those prize cards once again. I mean, the odds of that happening, and it's a game 3.
Yeah, for any matchup for this to happen, I suppose this is one that's like a little more acceptable, just because although your opponent does like to get off to some aggressive starts occasionally, typically you get to work off the back foot. You play down Teal Mask Ogerpons, and you want to threaten 2 of these at the same time. So if you have double Ogerpon, both with a grass energy, you have that one final energy switch, which could get you over the hump, or you just use Teal Mask the second turn with your energy attachment, and you're already ready to knock out a Charizard.
Cali has been doing really well, though, taking things nice and easy, nice and slow.
A little too slow for me. But you know what? It's working.
Maintaining the pace, you know, and holding through. Yeah, it has been working, at least in that last game, that is for sure. Tied things up here between our players.
Okay, hold up. We might be speeding it up a minute.
Oh,
there's no energy,
did you get
but there's a
Wish?
choice. It's Iono or Squawkabilly. We are going full throttle.
Oh, the Squawkabilly is going to be the choice here from Cali. That's going to mean 6 cards to the hands now off that Squawk and Seize.
It was the Iono with the 1 card to the bottom first, but this also means the Squawkabilly's available. And I think that's a great choice to make when you see that your prize cards are as devastating as they are. You don't have the energy switches to play with this game. You probably need to be aggressive and throw energies onto the board and use the Squawkabilly.
Yeah, I know, especially if you can Iono, then thin down your hand, then draw even more cards. It's such a dominant play, all from a little bird. That's pretty cool. Well, Ultra Ball is going to start that thinning here. 2 cards from the hands for any Pokemon in the deck. That's also going to lead to these Dragon Pokemon that can be discarded. This is the first turn here for Cali as well. So, I mean, we've already have so many discards right off the bat here for Cali.
I'm so used to watching the Regidrago player start to incorporate the second Regidrago or the Teal Mask Ogerpon in a spot like this. But when you only play the one Dragapult EX, it's so important for this Pokemon to hit the discard pile when you have the resources to do it. Squawkabilly does just that.
Look at that.
Now there's a chance to draw some energy.
Profit? Oh, I don't think so. We do have a Regidrago V at least, but it's just a bunch of Pokemon in the hand of Boss's Orders.
There's
as
4
well.
Earthen Vessel in the deck. Where are they?
Yeah, we saw 3 of them in like 1 turn last game too.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah, they are hanging out, but they're not hanging out in Cali's hands, and that is unfortunate. They're not another energy. We still have 1 on the Teal Mask Ogerpon and 1 on the Regidrago V in the active, but now we're back over to Jackson's side here. Did get multiple Pokemon out on the first turn thanks to that Buddy Buddy Poffin, which was great. Pidgey in the active position here already. We'll see if we can get into some evolutions this turn for Jackson.
All right. if Jackson had the Rotom V, was able to draw some additional resources, I would fully expect to have that big pop-off turn, maybe even a knockout on the TMS Ogerpon. There's so much potential for this deck to have that extended reach with the counter catchers and everything you can do with that Dusclops, but instead, it's probably going to be a pretty slow turn. Use the supporter like that Iono and try to establish another board that can stick around. You are threatened by Trifrost once again.
Yeah.
If you lose Pidgey, double Charmander here, there is no game.
It's looking grim. It is looking grim. That is definitely not what you want to see in a game 3 as well here. All the stakes on the line for these players.
I mean, you see Forest Sealstone in the hand, and
you can't even use
it's a blank card.
Yeah, unfortunately. You need a V to be able to activate that. And look, both the Vs there for Jackson stuck at the bottom of the prize cards. So sad. That's a huge card that puts together the pieces for you to have these huge turns, but that's it. It's just the collapsed stadium that was put in play. A couple Pokemon being brought out, but we're back over to Cali now after a very lackluster turn from Jackson. And the opposite now happening.
Yeah, here's the Ultra Ball. Thankfully, Earthen Vessel. This Iono might be the best thing that's happened to Cali in quite some time. This is fantastic news to see these Grass Energy in play. There is potential for a huge turn here. For Jackson, yes, you were able to bench that second Pidgey there, but the issue now is we can remove at least 3 of these 4 guys. That's going to be bad.
I'm scared, Kyle. Yeah, that Iono is huge, actually, because Cali's hand was just like a couple of Pokemon. It was actually a little awkward in boss's orders, I guess, but you can still work around. But now look at this. We are flying through the deck here, throwing energies down onto the field. The professor's research into a fresh 7 cards. We have the second evolution of the Regidrago V-Star. I mean, this is looking like a dominant board state here for Cali.
Right, and honest, when we've seen Cali's play in these spots, I almost expected instead to be the Dragapult at this point. Just knock out 2 Pidgey, stay on that 2/2/2 prize map, and there's no attack. There's no Legacy
energy?
Star. There's no nothing. It's
What is a hand?
we're all brakes, no gas.
What's going on here? Lacking.
I mean, yeah,
there's
still there's the 3 energy switch prize, but there's just no push. There's no way to get there.
There was nothing else. It was just the energy coming down manually, some Teal Dancing action as well, but the lack of the energy switches that are all stuck in the prize cards is really shining here right now. 3 of those in the prize cards. That is brutal here, allowing Jackson to hold on just a little bit. All of these small HP Pokemon are hanging out for another turn after this discard here from Jackson. Pidgeot EX gonna come out. We need to see the rare candy go with that, but you know, when it's sought out of the deck, usually you have the candy to go with it. We're seeing the evolution into the quick search now. That's going to give us another piece out of the deck. Every single turn you have access to it. Huge ability on this Pidgeot EX that is really the staple card that pieces these decks together.
Yeah, there's not much else that you're asking for at this point. And you're almost grateful to just be around.
Right?
I'm alive. You certainly expect that Cali would be able to take the knockout, but maybe you have an idea of those prize cards now. Right. It is that terrible. And for Jackson, it's not like this is a fantastic play. There's no knockout available unless we see the Dusclops come into play. And even then, I think you're still a little bit short. So it's just an attack into the Regidrago, but you just have to provide threats at this point. You can't set up a big hand and continue to have resources because you didn't have that Rotom in the early game.
Well, this is quite the threat coming down. Not only a big 330 HP Pokemon, but it allows you to accelerate all these fire energy onto the field with Infernal Rain. And then the move itself, Burning Darkness, it only gets stronger throughout the match as well. It's got that 180 base damage, 30 additional damage for each prize card your opponent is taking. And Jackson Ford finally has a bit of a board to work with here now.
And no hand.
Yeah, literally 0 cards in hands as well. Collapse Stadium is out for both these players, limiting their benches to 4 at this moment in time, but that Regidrago V-Star has a little bit of a damage on it now from Cali's side.
And for Cali, a switch would be incredible at this
That'd be
point.
nice.
Just if you can attack with that Teal Mask Ogerpon into this Charizard here, preserve the energies on your Regidrago V-Star and have that available. You have to think that that's a pretty winning play.
Yeah, look at that. This is just the bread and butter to why this matchup is so heavily helped out here, because that Teal Mask Ogerpon with the Myriad Leaf Shower attack, 30 additional damage for each energy that's attached to not just yours, but your opponent's Pokemon too, but that grass weakness is huge as well.
Yep.
Regidrago V-Star, though, is going to remain in the active for now. Boss's Orders bringing up this Pidgeot EX. And now we're seeing some lost impact action from Giratina V-Star. These energies have to go into the lost zone now, but look at that. Hit points here, 280 damage to take out this pivotal piece for Jackson Ford in the Pidgeot EX.
Yeah, to see those first 2 prize cards, the relief of seeing an energy switch.
Imagine not getting one.
Right? That's so refreshing. We also see the discard off of the Teal Mask and the Regidrago. Just a nod to the fact that your opponent is pretty incentivized to knock out the Teal Mask Ogerpon in this spot instead of the Regidrago V-Star. And it's just, what can Jackson truly do? He had no hand, and you removed the Pidgeot from play. We don't see Pheasantipity. We see a Pal Pad as the card for the turn. It is attack, attack, attack. I'm probably not here in a few turns unless he starts the top deck.
Which is sad, but that's what we're working with right now. I mean, just taking a look at those prize cards, they're so unfortunate for both of our players. Jackson just doesn't have much to work with, but at least is going to get a knockout into these 2V Pokemon that were just hanging out at the bottom the entire time here for Jackson. But a little too late, sadly. We could have used some Forest Seal Stone action a long time ago, Kyle.
It was not in the cards for Jackson this time around. Just the couple of prize cards to work with here. Cali just continuing to press this advantage slowly but surely. Another energy for this Teal Mask Ogerpon. It's ready to take a knockout at this state of the game. And with only 2 prize cards remaining after this, all the energy switches and a Legacy Star, you have to expect the game could end next turn.
Yeah, you're feeling good here if you're Cali, throwing energies down, drawing cards. You're just flying through here with this very dominant board state versus Jackson. Especially when you're dealing with weakness as well. Everything is on your side right now in this game 3, the last Swiss round between these players as well.
Looks like the Prime Catcher also found just even more ways to close out the game on the next turn. Drawing with the Pheasantipity. There's only 1 card left in deck at this point. There's still no Legacy Star used. Cali will have all the resources at the tail end of this game.
I don't even want to flip the script at that point. My script's looking good, Kyle.
You start to worry, like, could I get locked in the active? What could happen here?
Yeah, but we see the knockouts here from Cali, taking down this Charizard EX. That's 2 additional prize cards in this dominant performance with Regidrago V-Star in this absolute star-studded matchup here between the 2 titans of the format. And Jackson still has 4 prize cards left to take and just has not been able to get anything to work here. Even when the Pidgeot EX was out, it was eliminated nice and swiftly from Cali's side. And now we're just playing recovery until the inevitable happens.
Finding fire energies. I did not see the rest of the hand, but I'm hoping that there's a supporter to go with this. Maybe some chance to establish one final threat.
Yeah, that's true. We did get our V Pokemon back to our hands.
That's right.
So Luminion could help out. Yeah, we have both. Back to our hands.
Hey, buddies.
What's up, guys? They were sleeping on the job a little bit, but now they're in action here. Luminous Sign is going to get us this Iono card after being benched down from the hand, searching out a supporter card here for Jackson to be able to utilize. I mean, look at this. The hands have been so slim for Jackson as well. We haven't seen any draw support or anything, so this Iono is at least going to get us somewhere in this turn.
Well, you also have to remember Jackson's at 4 prize cards, so just 4 cards to make a hand of this. I don't like the odds.
Me neither.
But you're saying there's a chance.
I mean, you got to play it out at this point. see what happens. Maybe Jackson is just truly the underdog here.
There's a rare candy in this hand. There's a rare candy Pidgeot.
Wow, that is pretty wild, actually. Rare candy into the Pidgeot EX. That's going to allow for the quick search now for Jackson. That's what I mean about the Charizard EX. It always has something to do, even when you think it doesn't. I mean, Cali is prepared for that as well. Just thinking, like we were talking about, thinking about all of the ways that things could go sour.
I like this here. We see the Pheasantipity as the card
Here's
of
some
choice, but search out the nest ball first so you don't draw into the nest ball. It's just a way to give yourself a little better odds drawing these 3 cards. Rare Candy Charizard, probably the ideal cards to see here. You have your opponent on just 2 cards remaining. Yes, there is Legacy Star, but these are the lines you have to take. Just try to get something going here.
Yeah, we need to get going. See multiple supporters, the boss's orders, and that Ultra Ball and the
It's rare candy in
Ultra Ball. Oh my gosh.
I guess the one piece missing, you'd like to incorporate a Radzard, but you have a Collapse Stadium. There's already 4 in play. You don't have space to have a single prize Pokemon in the game here. You have to walk into the 2 prizes remaining of Cali, but you somehow made an attack of this, and
that's pretty.
That is worth a golf clap.
Yeah,
there you go.
It is worth a golf clap, indeed. All the energy are going to come down onto this Charizard EX. Somehow we had multiple rare candy found to get into a Pidgeot and a Charizard EX, but we're going to take the knockout here for Jackson Ford, and then it is up to Cali to flip that V-Star marker here as we see that Legacy V-Star to get all of these cards into the discard, recycle 2 cards, the 2 cards needed here to take the win here for Cali White in this 3-game set here. Our last Swiss round, Regidrago V-Star is going to come out on top.
A very comfortable ride for Cali, just taking their time.